Hi there, folks, and welcome to a long overdue Clock in the Gallop reunion this morning on the Saturday morning. And the reason we're doing this is because Neil Andrews coming back to the course today on a big day, on Classic Day. Lyle Cooper joins me as well. Apologies for the light in the background. I just can't seem to get that right. But a very warm welcome to both of you, gentlemen. And great to be doing this again after such a long time. Neil, first, how's it?
Yeah, thanks, Nico. It's great to be back. It's great to be back with Lyle and to be reunited, as you say, on course today, which for me is quite momentous. So I'm more than happy to start the day with another momentous return to your podcast. So yeah, it's all changed. Very excited, and Lyle and I were just chatting about we've got various duties to get through today. You're in the commentary box. It's going to be great. Really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And Lyle, I know that you always look forward to these big days. It's a tremendous day of racing and lots of good horses participating out at Turffontein this morning.
Yeah, lovely. Looking forward to this 5 million rand pick six carryover. Looking forward to that. And lovely to have Neil back. The last time I worked with Neil, I stood next to him and he tipped Sean Terry's horse at 20-1 for the Summer Cup.
Flying carpet, correct.
That's right. Yeah, that's the last time we worked together.
Well, funnily enough, I hadn't thought of that actually, Lyle, but that's going to have reference to a couple of things I've got to say today. So, yeah, maybe lightning should strike twice, at least.
Let's hope.
Well, maybe it will do. We'll just wait and see what transpires. But first and foremost, let's get the early business out the way. Our direct line team yesterday were in fantastic form, tipping 6 out of the 8 winners. And really and truly, it was something to behold. I mean, when you have a look here, and I'll just quickly, I think I'll be able to show it to you here, is our selections here, and just share it with you. But basically, 6 out of the 8 winners were tipped. There were our selections that we sent out to our subscribers. And with the green ticks, you can see 6 of the 8. And in particular, the last 5 straight. So if you've taken our first selection in a R1 jackpot, you would have caught the first and the second jackpot on a R1 straight line. I think one paid 59, the other paid 400 odd. So that just shows you the magnitude of those selection sheets yesterday.
I think the whole week's been good, Nico.
Absolutely. We've had a great week too. So
yep.
This is just the latest successes. And you know what I'm going to do at the end of the show? I'm going to actually put up our contact details to contact Bella if you want to subscribe to us. But more importantly, let's talk about today's duties and at hand. And I want to talk, let's talk about the main SA Classic first, Neil. You got Walkway. Look, at the end of the day, Fire Attack was a late scratching in that Guineas. And Parisian Walkway went past Greatrix and ended up winning it. Now you've got Fire Attack back in. But more importantly, it's over 1,800 meters, which brings a horse for me like Legend of Arthur into it, because he has always been a horse that's been on the premises, but looking for a bit further than the mile. Would you see it the same way?
I do indeed, Nico. And we need to say that, you know, all of us don't communicate until we come on air. So you might well have booted for something else, but you haven't. You've gone for the same horse I have. So to Lyle's point earlier on, for the first time today, I'm going to mention 2 words: Sean Tarry. And I'm mentioning Sean Tarry in the context of this horse, Legend of Arthur. You know, we all know when you get to these second and the third classics, you know, the Derby is still to come, but you need to stay. If you don't stay, you don't win. We've seen it time and time again. So you need stoutness in your pedigree. Obviously, some could surprise. You think they don't stay, they do. But in terms of Legend of Arthur, the horse you're talking about, Grail Maiden, the mother, is a daughter of Galileo. He's a Lancaster bomber. He's drawn 2. He was an expensive horse, a nice-looking horse. He's got Richard Furey. Yeah, he's my first choice. He's my value play, no question. My each-way play is Legend of Arthur.
Okay, Lyle, how do you see that main race going, the SA Classic?
Well, I'm writing the word coffee down here, and you know there are quite a few of them taking on this trip for the first time. I found it quite a difficult race. I agree with you both. I think Legend of Arthur is a massive runner. If Fire Attack stays, Parisian Walkway. But my value and my selection for the race is going to be number 5, Confederate. Even though it hasn't taken on horses like this, that's going to be my value bet, but I do respect your 4, Legend of Arthur. So I'm writing coffee here. Number 5 for Lyle and Neil and Nico, with number 4. 5 verse 4 for our coffee.
Yeah. Well,
Nico, can I just add something quickly? I found, and you know this because we talk a lot, I found that the current jockeys colony, we could have 20 podcasts talking about what's happening with the jockeys colony. And the interesting, Smunga's coming back, Andrew Fortune's got a license to come back. But leaving those two out of it, I think it's been, I'm going to be diplomatic here, I think it's been an average colony for some time. But that's not why I mention it. What I'm mentioning is because perhaps it's somewhat average, the likes of Craig Zaki have really excelled. He's always been a good rider, but for me, he's riding at his absolute best at the moment with confidence. Ryan Munger's back in town. He's ridden brilliantly. So I'm elevating certain jockeys on this program. So again, I mention that now because Craig Zaki's riding Lyle's horse Confederate. So for me, that's a big upgrade. He's drawn 1. Ordinarily, I probably wouldn't have him in my top group, but I have to. When I see Craig Zaki, you cannot leave him out.
Yeah. So strangely enough, yesterday when we did our bets, Nino Podesta and myself, our tips, we had 1 best bet and we had 2 value bets. And only at the end of the day did I realize all 3 were ridden by Craig Zaki. Now, there has to be something.
Oh, there you go.
Because you end up gravitating towards the in-form riders. You may not find yourself specifically looking for them, but you end up tipping them. And only at the end of the day, I realized both value bets and the best bet were all Craig Zaki yesterday.
Mm.
So that's interesting. Okay, but I'm on Legend of Arthur, and I take you up on that coffee. Make sure that there's 3 sugars in mine when you bring it up to me in the commentary box. 7, Lyle.
I'll get Neil to take it to you.
Okay, that'll be good. Right, let's backtrack a little bit, go to the Fillies Classic quickly. Now, in the Fillies Classic, now I looked at this race very carefully last night. Now, Spumante Dolce, from day 1, I mean, it ran up the Vaal up the straight the first time. I called it the second time when it beat Kudzu. I was ultra impressed. And then, as you know, Lyle, I was big on it to topple the favorite Quid Pro Quo in the Guineas.
Yeah.
Today is interesting because VJ's Angel was really powering on home last time out from a worse draw than she's got today. Let's start off with you, Lyle. What do you think? Do you think Spumante Dolce? Look, Spumante Dolce is the type of horse. She's obviously related to Sparkling Water, so she can stay all day. The question mark is if she runs like she ran last time out, she may be susceptible. But I think ridden a bit differently today, I still think she's the right horse. But I'm wary of VJ's Angel.
I agree. Raymond, I spoke to Raymond during the week, and Raymond did say she's working very well. He's worked with her, and he's very excited. Obviously, she'll love the trip. We all know that. I agree with you. I think VJ's Angel is a very, very big danger, and I might even be leaning towards VJ's Angel. She's a Group 1 winner against boys.
Yeah, she is, and she beat the boys. Yeah, that's right, when she ran in Durban. Neil, do you see it more open than that? Or do you think it's
No, I'm bankering Spumante Dolce. So I need to declare that I suppose I'm talking with my pocket. Not all. I mean, the previous race, I'm not talking with my pocket. I haven't had a bet.
Yeah.
I will be having a bet, but as things stand now, I haven't. But this one, I'm on. I think this is this horse could be anything. Spumante Dolce. Why I'm going for her specifically is she's more likely raced. I respect VJ's Angel. She's not a bad filly, but this is her 13th career start. She's been busier. Spumante Dolce is very likely raced, very conservatively raced. She's got the pedigree to back her. And when she won last time, unlike you, Nico, I probably hadn't studied the race as much. I just saw Quid Pro Quo. I thought, oh, that's good enough for me. But during the race, I could see I was doomed because the physical presence of this filly just caught my eye. And I think the extra trip today is going to be up her her alley. VJ's Angels will give me the green light out of an Oratorio mare. She should get the trip on the way she runs, but I just think I might be wrong. You guys might be right. VJ's Angel might get nearer, but I just think the scope for this filly is something else. So when I saw 12 to 10, I just said that's good enough for me. And I see she's now 7 to 10. And I did say on the playbook on Supersport that
you said
I'm going for her.
Said she was bussing or something.
Yeah, correct. She was buzzing, and I'm hoping she's going to heat my nachos today. So you have to make, it's one of those tricky cards. You have to make your stand somewhere, and win, lose, or draw. This is my Custer's stand. Hopefully I don't end up like Custer.
Okay, no, I'm very happy with that. I think, she is definitely my first choice. And but I'm just wary after calling the race last time. I'm a bit wary, but I still think she'll win. I still think she'll get away with it. Remember, there's a lot at stake for her. Hey, she's won that first leg. She needs to win this. There's the breeding and all that. There's a lot for her. Yeah, so there's extra pressure on the team, but I think they're sort of immune to pressure on the De Kock team. I mean, poor old Mike. As he gets older, he's starting to get more stressed. And Matthew, like calm as a lamb. Matthew's like, nothing phases that youngster. So I think he's going to have a great effect on his dad now that he's... Look, we don't have long to go. I want to touch on 2 more races because everyone that subscribes to the Direct Line will get our full selection of tips as they did yesterday and as they cleaned up yesterday. Hopefully they'll do the same today. I want to touch on 2 more races. The third race interested me because it's a 1,400-meter graduation plate, Neil. And... And I found it pretty competitive and pretty mixed up all over the place, even though there were 9 runners. And for me, Neil, in that race, which is the opening leg of the PA, when you said earlier on Tarry, people would be going ordinarily for a horse like the Africa House. I prefer Hotter Ruby, actually, to the Africa House. And I was shocked to see it was as short as 4 to 1, but it is thin on the ground in terms of the field. There's not much here, but I like Hotter Ruby in that race. I don't know what you fancy.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't put you off Hotter Ruby, but apart from to say, I was also shocked at the price because I liked it. I thought, well, you look at a race, I'm sure Lyle's the same. You look at a race and you think, well, that's going to be 12 to 1, that's going to be 33 to 1 or whatever. Sometimes, and you know how I punt. I mean, I send you when I back that horse Whistle down, Lyle knows, because in my mind I thought, okay, that's going to be 20 to 1, and then when I saw 33 to 1, I thought, well, I can't stay out. That's the wrong price that way. For me, Hotter Ruby's the wrong price the other way, but that doesn't mean to say on tote to play. But because of that, I'll be surprised if he doesn't drift. But I think Pierre goes well, drawn 1. So yeah, for me, I'd wait. If I'm going to have a bet, I'll wait because he's surely got to drift to 5 to 1, 11 to 2, I would think.
But I mean, I was going to say it would be a decent price, but then, yeah. Anyway, so I think he will drift. I agree with you. He will drift. So what is your danger then?
I don't like the race. I don't like the race particularly. I mean, give me another chance. It's an apt name, isn't it? I mean, he's been disappointing. Do we give him another chance?
He hasn't won.
Africa House I've been for. Africa House was my horse in the, what's that race up the Turffontein, the Grand Heritage. Yeah, and he ran disappointingly. I even respect a horse like Purple Ninja Turtle, believe it or not, at 33 to 1 with Rachel. Rachel doesn't get many chances today to use her 1.5 kilograms, so I might go for that at place. I don't like the race, so I'm happy to row in with Hotter Ruby. Hotter Ruby is probably my first choice, but not at that price.
Not at that price. Lyle, what did you think of this one?
I like the 7 Calantha here. I think Africa House does have a chance, and Hotter Ruby holds number 1. So Hotter Ruby could be the value, as you both say. Definitely the value in the race.
If it drifts. Okay, the last race I wanted to chat about, by the way, just very quickly, on Andrew Fortune, you mentioned him earlier on. He's got 1 ride today. It runs in the last race. Let me just try and pronounce the name. It's called Amandla Ngawetu. But just very quickly, Andrew told me, guys, that he worked this horse in Cape Town when it was with Clinton Binder. because he was looking after Janse van Vuren's string in Cape Town. So he was going to ride work on that, and he was riding work for other trainers. And he said he sat on this horse before, and he told me, don't be surprised if you see me in the winner's box on my first ride, which is in race 10, and there's been money for it, number 2. So he was a bit confident. But the race I wanted to talk to you folks about very quickly is the penultimate race, which is the Tab JJ, the jet plane stakes, the sprint over 1,000 meters. Now, Lyle will know this. When it comes to sprint races at Turffontein, especially when there's been a bit of rain, as there has been now, I don't like backing anything that has a low draw. Middle to low draws, I ignore completely, maybe at my detriment, but certainly I've won more times than I've lost. So I look at the draw specifically. So I'm be looking sort of middle outside for the possible winner here. And Dice, unfortunately, is scratched. The fillies obviously come well in here because they get a 2.5 kilogram allowance. So I do like Golden Sickle. I think she's a very, very speedy filly, and she comes in very well into this race. So she would probably be my first choice in the race. But I know that there's a few others. A horse like Exchange Student tries blinkers today, and that Dawson stable's really doing wonders. A horse like Time Orchids, funny enough, at 33 to 1, drawn 14 interested me because she can come up as well on her day. But those are the few. I think this may be a race that you need to go wide in. Neil, do you have a firm opinion here?
Yeah, I thought Golden Sickle set a very high standard because, as you said, she's a filly. She looks well in. Her course record is remarkable. She had 7 course and distance run for 5 wins, a second and a third. So she's faultless from a place point of view. Funnily enough, in my mind, I thought she'd be 18 to 10 in this race.
Yeah.
Once Dice came out. So I actually was surprised to see her at 4 to 1 and now 7 to 2. So I do respect her, but being the value player, I'm sick for outsiders. Yeah. I'm not famous for going for favourites. So Golden Sickle is my first choice. But like you, Nico, I have Shrewdies coming out of every orifice here. Very quickly, I've been for Mrs. Browning before. I don't know what happened last time. It was a poor runner. It was inexplicable. She was well handicapped and she ran terribly. And she was backed. It wasn't just my money. She was backed from 7 to 1 to 5 to 2 and fell in a hole. So I've got to ignore her there. But she's drawn 6. By the way, your comments on the draw, I think, are spot on there. So hence, I respect Dreamland, Richard Ferree for Lucky Hoodlarkus, 2 wins, course and distance. But I'm going to give you a complete loony. Yeah. You've given me your horse, the Orchids. I'm giving you a complete loony in the form of, and it's not Craig Peters, but I'm going for Sheldon. So number 8, Sheldon. That run last time was also not to his best form, and I don't know what happened there. But he ran in this race. No, he didn't run in this race, but he's got form up against Thunderstruck and Mover and Shake, who won this race last year when it was called the Tommy Hotspur, right?
That's right.
And the fact that it's drawn 16, listen, it's 50 to 1. So I'm not going to say it's going to win by 4. I'm just saying it shouldn't be 50 to 1. I'm going to go for a few places. You get 4 places with your bookmaker because it's a 16-horse field. But anything could win this. So for me, it's Golden Sickle / the field.
Yeah, I think Golden Sickle would be my first choice. As I say, I think there are a few runs to throw in with it. Lyle, the last word is yours on this race.
Golden Sickle, strong first selection. She's very well in here. And Mount Pilates is my value bet. Since the blinkers have gone on, he's never run a bad race.
Okay, so that's it. Golden Sickle, by the sound of things, we're leaning towards 7 to 2. Could be a bit of value to be had there. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you this morning. And the reason why we wanted to do this, because we intend doing a lot more Clock in the Gallop shows going on. And we are putting this back on our mainstream show. And Neil, thanks very much. Enjoy the day today. I know that you will. You said you're sick for outsiders. You're sick for anything racing, so it doesn't really matter. You'll be absolutely rooted to your seat and to the glamour and action today at Turffontein. So enjoy it. And then Lyle, you and I will touch base shortly with our selections for the day, which we're doing straight after. And then we'll see you later at the course, gentlemen. Thanks for your time. Thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank you,
lads.
guys.
Thanks, Lyle. See you at the track.
Thank you, Neil. See you now.